Good morning. Happy Monday. So, let me turn up my volume, make sure you can hear me good. All right, so we're in lesson 9 of more linear relationships. Okay, you had a power up question. You were coming up with what's the slope. So, remember, slope is your rise over your run. So, even if I just start right there and I go to this point, I went up and then I went over. So then that gives me 5. And then this is 4. Remember, you got to look at this information here. Okay, and so then that makes it rise over run of 5/4. So we just put it as a fraction. You don't have to put it as a decimal. And then it says graph it, and it'll graph that. Yes, you're right. Okay. This one kind of is an opinion. Why would you choose A? Why are you choosing plan B? And then we're going to look at those a little bit more in depth. So if it says every month, that means multiplication. So our equation is kind of like y equals 8x. Then you just have to take 8 times x. Okay, so 1 times 8 is 8. 2 times 8 is 16. Then 24, 32, and 40. Then it says write the equation. So for plan A, our equation is y equals 8x. Okay, so we need to pause and put that on yours. Do so. If you're in your textbook doing this, it might be laid out a little bit different, but it's the same type of concept. Okay, so this time you have a one-time fee, so you already start paying out $10. Now remember, this isn't how much you're paying each month. It's kind of a graph of what is your total cost has been. All right, so we start always y equals, and then we're doing 6 every month. So 6 is what we're multiplying, and 10 is what you add. So in 1 month, 6 plus 10 is 16. 12 plus 10, 22. 18 plus 10 is 28. Okay. And then 24, so 34. And 40. Okay, so then we're going to compare these two. So if you were to choose a plan for 1 year, which do you think is going to be better? Okay, choose which one you think and then explain your reasoning. All right, and then here is how we will act. Oops. And you can even look plan A, plan B, and then which way do you think? I honestly would choose plan B. Okay, so I didn't give you the graph like it did for the other kids. So plan B, because if I took it, there's 12 months in a year. Y equals 6 times 12. Oops, I put the caret and not the 6. Plus 10. Right, that equals $82 for the year that you have spent on your music plan, not a phone. Whereas plan A, Y equals just 8 times 12, which is $96. All right, so if you notice, plan B is actually, yes, cheaper. Right, and that would be your explain your thinking. Okay. Here we have 6 different graphs, and you need to match them to their situation. Now, each situation gives a slope. So if you can find your slope, you are fine. Okay, so this is 10, and then we go up even here. That's a little hard spot to see. So even if we went here, I go up 10, and I ran 2. So what's 10 over 2 equal? Well, 5. So we want to find the one where our slope says 5. and then we put that letter here. So we have C. All right, then you go to your next graph and notice it puts C on there again. Now you are not going to reuse any of these. So once you're done with it, it is never an option again. If you need to, screenshot, and it makes it so much easier. Or you can just kind of estimate. So we go up 20 from 40 to 60, and it went over 2. So that equals 10. So which one has a slope of 10? Well, that's situation A. All right, so then you would put A here. And then you keep on going through. Okay, I'm going to pause, and then you try it and come back for your answers. All right, so for graph 3, you should have gotten D. 4 is F. 5 is E. 6 is B. Now we're going to compare those of whether they are proportional or non-proportional and what's our slopes. So situation A, does it start at the origin? No. So it is non-proportional. And that is your reasoning. Now it says, what is the slope? Well, it gives it to us here. Slope is, you could either use the decimal they gave you, or you can say 1 over 4. Either way. Okay, 6. What is the vertical intercept? This is also known as our y-intercept. They want to know, where did this cross? So it crosses, and you're going to give it as an order pair. X is 0, and we cross that when y is 9. What does that tell us about the situation? Okay, so when we look at that then, it tells us it's non-proportional. Oops. No. And it also tells us, well, what did she start with? So Elena started with $9 already in her piggy bank. So it kind of tells us two different things, right? All right. Then go to number 7. Well, it starts there, so we're good. What's our slope? 40. And what is our intercept? Well, if it's proportional, it's at 0, 0. What does that tell us about the situation? That she didn't pay anything down. Did not pay any money when started the internet contract. All right, then we have activity 3. We're matching some word problems here with our equations. Remember, you're looking for those keywords. Okay, and means to add, per means to multiply. Right, and means to add, per means to multiply. So that helps lay it out. So this first one here, they start at 4 feet and then they keep going up. And you're going to put T for Thunderbolt and J for Jackrabbit. All right. Going to slide 10. Now, they want to know after 3 seconds which roller coaster is the highest. So here we could look at it on the graph ourselves at 3 seconds, or you could even do some math. 3 seconds would be our x, so you would replace your x with a 3 to get it instead. So either way, it would work. Okay, so with the graph, just look at the graph. Look for the coordinates, which is 3 and 26. and 346. For equations, replace x with 3 and compute. And you would still get 26 and 46. So which one was actually higher? Our Thunderbolt. Okay, now we're going to go back to our next slide. We're not going to do the are you ready? Okay, your summary goes over what is a y-intercept, or what they might also call a vertical y-intercept. Okay, it also goes over the equations that we're working with. M is always your slope and B is the y-intercept. So if I look at this one, this is my B, and then I look for my slope. This is my M. So once you have those, you can plug them into your equation. Normally, does it matter that you have 6x last? No, you could put it y equals 6x plus 10, and it means the same thing. Okay, you kind of need to know that to do some of your homework today. Okay, so when we go, we're not going to do the exit ticket today. We're doing problems 1 through 4. Now, number 1 can be a little tricky. You have 3 lines to graph, but they don't tell you where to start. And also look at your A is color coded. Okay, so say I want to start at 1, but my slope is 1/4. So that means I go up 1 and over 4. So then my equation would be y equals 1/4 x plus 1, because that's where I cross at the y-axis. Okay, now what if, so B is now red. If we use our negatives, that changes how your equation looks a little bit. I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3, and over 5. So then that one is y equals 3/4 x. Then it's minus 2 because I'm in the negatives. This is a -2. Okay, so go ahead and then try the last one on your own. Problem 2, you're saying whether you agree or disagree using the table or the graph. Problem 3 is a couple 2 parts. You're coming up with your equation. Now remember, that is the one where this is y equals mx plus b. Slope is m. Y-intercept is b. Same thing for that one. Oh, explain what the slope represents. Well, what are they comparing? So when we look at what we're comparing, we have a cash box and we have tickets. And problem 4, you're coming up here. We have 6 cups of almond in the flour. How many cups for raspberries would you need to make each recipe? So for Lynn's, 6 cups of almond flour. So we're going up by a half cup each time. So how many to get us all the way up to 6? And then we have Noah's. Okay. Those are, you don't need to do, and then you have slide 21, doing 5 cups of raspberries instead. Okay. You do not need to do problem 5 though. If you have questions, you can always email me.